true crime. Now, we may all have different opinions on that, but I do want to make sure we look at all sides of true crime, the good, the bad, the ugly, and obviously what, as a prison wife, how true crime impacts us and how we see it, basically also through the eyes of a prison wife. True crime from a prison wife's perspective, obviously, it can be very complicated. Some prison wives love true crime. Some prison wives don't. If Michael's story was made into a true crime
God, I want to... That's like my biggest... Like anyone touching Joseph's story with a 10-foot pole, like they want the crazy parts that people want to tune in for when they talk about or hear prison.
I feel like I do love a documentary, but some parts of it can get pretty intense for me. And I have to say, I can't do this anymore.
It was like a entertainment factor for a lot of people. But like we said earlier, how is that not re-victimizing the kids of the women that are on TikTok and are still alive and have to deal with this? Like, do you think it's cool for them when they have to like see or hear call? Like, you know what I mean? You're putting it back in their face when they might be trying to escape it.
This is for the prison wife. Still don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass.
All right, Paige, you got big plans for the Super Bowl?
Not big plans, but my mom's coming over, so we're gonna watch it. And Brody's very excited because he loves a good football game. So he's really excited to watch them play. He told me that the Seahawks are going to win. He actually predicted the Patriots and Seahawks like 4 weeks ago, which is really weird. And he said that the Seahawks were gonna win. So if that happens, I'm gonna be like, dude, I can't believe I gave birth to a psychic child. That's crazy.
I'm saying you're psychic. I feel like you're psychic, and then you've given the gift to Brody. Because wow, I'm also thinking that I'm rooting for the Seahawks only because I know the Patriots have a really great team and their coach is amazing and their quarterback is very young and amazing. So mad props to them. Sorry, Pats people, but I really want to see the Seahawks win.
I feel like it's just fun to watch the Patriots lose ever since like Tom Brady, like, you know, when they just won all the time, like who really, like other than Patriot fans, like who really wants to see them win half the time, you know? Like,
I was going to say, are y'all like, are the Eagles and the Patriots like rivals?
Not really, but we do have like that beef, of course, where we, Super Bowl and then they beat us too. So that's kind of a little bit of beef, but I would like to watch them lose, even though Seattle is another bird team, and I like to think that we are the only bird team that matters. I'll let them have today.
Okay.
You know, Joseph doesn't want Seattle to win because he's a Bucks fan.
Wait, say that again. It cut out. Say that again.
He likes the Bucks. Denver.
Oh. No, the Broncos.
Oh fuck yeah! Who are the Bucks?
The Bucks are is Tampa Bay.
Oh my god!
I think.
Yep, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
He's gonna listen
because he's
gonna listen.
New Orleans hates
he's gonna listen to this when we're listening, and he's gonna hear me say Bucks, and he's gonna be like,
he's facepalm.
Literally. Oops.
Sorry, Joe.
Literally.
Hey, but you were close. It's a B team. I mean, you're very close. It starts with a B, so you weren't far off. But yeah. So you're watching with your mom and Brody.
What about you?
That's gonna be fun. I'm probably not. I'm hoping to watch it. I do want to see Bad Bunny.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I want to see what he does for the halftime show. I always find the halftime shows very interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. But I do want to see the Seahawks win. And hopefully Brody's predictions are right. And obviously if he is, I'm going to be coming to him with a lot of questions because I need some questions answered.
I'm down for some good commercials too. I need some laughs.
Yes. Yeah. I do love a good Super Bowl commercial. They do have some good ones. Is there anything like y'all are eating tonight? Like
I think
special?
not like special. I think my mom's gonna pick up pizza, which honestly, if you know me,
that's good. Hey,
I'll take
that's
pizza.
Good Super Bowl food.
Honestly, it's that or like wings, so I'll take it. But like, look, I'm like I didn't even mean it, but like I'm wearing my Eagles cut shirt and I'm wearing a brown sports bra. I'm like very football.
Okay, I'm wearing my Alaska sweatshirt that I got from the TikTok shop, and I'm hoping This is kind of Seahawkish.
It's giving it's giving Seattle more than it's giving Boston. So I love it.
There we go.
Period.
Well, after Super Bowl next weekend is Valentine's Day, and some people do a lot of things, some people don't. I mean, it's how you and your loved ones celebrate it. Paige, do you have anything special that you guys are going to be doing for Valentine's Day this weekend coming up?
You know, we don't have anything special or fun planned. I love Valentine's Day and I love celebrating it, but the way that Valentine's, it literally, I mean, every year it falls right before our anniversary. So it's like, it's always a special day, but I think we always usually focus more on our anniversary because that day, I think to us means more, you know what I mean? But like, we'll still spend the day, like, you know, like talking to each other and all that stuff. But I don't know if we do it. We don't really do super, super cute things anymore. I did say, like, Joseph, I know, made me like paper mache flowers. I haven't gotten those yet, but I'm very excited about that. I feel like it's more about, like, for us at least now, just like enjoying each other and celebrating that we're almost at that milestone.
Yeah, 5 years, right?
Like,
Yes.
what?
That's awesome. And are y'all doing, since that's coming up, are y'all doing anything special? Like, do y'all have anything special planned for the big five?
No, he wanted to try to see if we could get a family visit for that time, but I told him that was just not gonna. My son's birthday is actually like literally like the next week, so like maybe like
Oh,
a
yeah.
week and a half. So it's a lot of things in a small amount of time, and the way that I just would rather not like worry about all those things.
It's too close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to see him, but we'll probably just, you know, have our cute moments, and then of course our next family visit we'll spend that time to maybe celebrate everything together.
That'd be fun. Yes. So, can I ask this? I mean, are they doing like family visits a little bit more close together now?
I think that I think it's like supposed to be 45 days. So technically, like, yeah, I can't pay for that or afford that, but some people can. So
Yeah. So I thought I misunderstood. I thought it was every 90 days. Did they
it
change it?
depends. Every facility is different, and we just got a new family visiting coordinator. He literally changed the days that we have the visits. So like they literally do what they want.
So the coordinator person bumped it up,
I
like
guess
made
so.
the
I know, but it doesn't really help me
okay.
because it's not like I can go. But I'm glad
Yeah.
that, you know, other people will have the opportunity.
Yeah, I know it's hard for you to. It's a big process, and I know we talked about this on the last pod, like how much goes into your family visits because you're coming from the East Coast to the West Coast, and you have a child that it doesn't come with you, so you have to make plans and
Joseph's mom
all the logistics.
even just went to family visit with him, and she flew just from the other side of California, and she was explaining to him that, like, she was like, wow, it's just like a lot to have to do that. And she's like, the fact that Paige does that every time and it's farther, and like I'm like, it's a
Now you get it,
lot.
yeah.
hmm
Welcome to my
I'm like,
world.
yeah, it's definitely not just me being crazy when I call you and I'm having my panic attacks. What about your Valentine's
Yeah.
Day? Are you doing anything cute?
I am. I have a lot planned
Yeah.
actually. I have a contact visit with Michael on Valentine's Day, and I'm meeting up with some of my friends. We're getting an Airbnb, and we're doing a Valentine's Day dinner Saturday after visit. So everybody's visiting that weekend, and then we're going to go out to eat. So I'm very excited at one of my favorite restaurants. If you don't know, if you're ever in St. Francisville, please go to the Francis. It's delicious. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yay, that'll
So
be
I get
fun.
the day with my honey and the evening with my gals. So
What's better?
I'm excited. Yeah, definitely excited. And I'm kind of like you too in the fact that for me, Valentine's Day, of course I would love to get flowers and all, but to me it's not about that. To me it's about like like you said, kind of like the quality time and the
Yeah.
effort just to be there and be present with your loved one and put that effort into spending a lot,
Like
good good time, good conversation with
I
them.
love when Joseph gets me flowers, but then half the time when he gets me flowers, I'm just like, I wish he wouldn't have spent money on this. I wish he would have kept you know what I mean? Because like flowers will
Yeah.
die, and like I always keep one and like remember it, and it's always special, and I love that he does it. But like the financial part of me is like, just don't spend your money on that, please. I love you.
Yeah. I hear you because I don't think I could spend money on flowers for myself. Even I used to believe me, when I first started on this journey, I used to buy gifts for myself because, Mike couldn't give me anything, obviously, other than like art, his artwork. But I used to buy myself like what is it? What's that company with the strawberries? The chocolate covered
Sherry's
strawberries.
berries.
Sherry's berries. I used to buy myself Sherry's berries and have it delivered to the house with a little love note to myself. It was
I love
great.
that.
But obviously, that was a long time. That was 10 years ago. And now I can't do that anymore, obviously, because economy, I don't know. It's just, everything's so expensive, and I just need to find better ways to spend my money. But I did do that for a little while. So if you're ever feeling like lost or down, I recommend doing that, or doing something for yourself, like going to get your nails done, or going to get a facial, or going to get a massage. Do something for you, or treat yourself if you're feeling lost. I used to do that when I was kind of in the trenches of, can I do this or not? That kind of thing. So
I agree.
all right. Well, hello everybody. Welcome. It's been a hot minute, but we're back. Welcome to episode 82 of Love with the Moss, a Prison Wife podcast. It's your friendly host, Gigi here, and I'm here with my friendly co-host.
Your friendly host, Paige. Hello, friends.
All right. Hi guys, welcome. And we are getting you ready for Valentine's Day, hopefully, with some very interesting topics today. I'm very excited to discuss it. But are we ready to get started with our
Yes.
jam page? Okay, here we go. All right, it is time for What Up With That Legislation. Paige, do you have anything?
I do. I have a report that came out of Reuters. I know I'm...
Okay.
So the title of this report is State Prisons Grew Deadlier and More Violent Amid Guard Shortage, Reviews Find. This comes out of Washington. State prisons in the United States have been more violent and nearly 50% deadlier over the past 5 years as authorities struggled to keep enough guards on the job, according to government-funded reports to be released on Wednesday. The United States locks away more than any other nation, including about 1 million people in state-run prisons. The previously unreported evaluation, paid for by the U.S. Department of Justice and conducted by an initiative called Safe Inside, found that those systems are under increasing strain, even as many states sharply reduce the number of people that are locked up. We have less staff and they're asking us to do more, said John Wenzel of Pennsylvania's prison system and the chairman of Safe Inside, a nonpartisan research effort focused on improving state prisons. We're seeing the increased deaths, increased assaults, and there's no argument that these are going up drastically. The staff shortages mean that prisons have fewer people on duty to protect the incarcerated people and fewer people to take care of them medically, anything. The death rate among these incarcerated people increased 47% between 2019 and 2024. The most recent years for which this organization could gather data. That's just insane.
Yes.
The deaths include homicide, suicide, violence, and the report concluded that understaffing and high turnover are very likely to contribute to that. Through research, they said that they lacked enough data to prove causation. But it's, read the writing on the walls type thing.
Yeah. Well, and then can I just kind of add on to that? Because we see that here too. I mean, first of all, in Louisiana, you have guards constantly bringing in contraband. And I mean, this has been blowing up in Louisiana for months now. And I think between that, because they're not making enough money, and then the amount of people they have to be in charge of is absolutely ridiculous. And then when you start depleting, when people start leaving, people start getting let go or quit or fired, it just puts the strain on the people that are left behind, the workers that are left behind. And then you don't have any, here in Louisiana at least, you don't have any way to keep the population down. If anything, the population continues to steadily increase because, our motto here is incarcerate, incarcerate, incarcerate. So when you have high numbers with no reform, and then you have lower numbers, it's like this. It's going to be violent. It's going to be depressing. It's going to be a lot of negative things, not what the rehabilitation and correction system was meant to do.
Yep. And this article just points out, it says that some states, which we already know, even deployed National Guard troops to fill staffing shortages, and advocates say that this points to a deeper systemic problem in how prison systems are staffed and funded.
Amen. Amen. That's so true. I had something. I guess if we're gonna go with I have positive things, but obviously I'm gonna start with the negative first. We have the lowest number in Louisiana, the lowest number of paroles in the last 2 decades. That's 20 years. The state parole board freed only 185 prisoners since our governor Landry has been in office, compared with the 858 in the 2 years before he took office. Kind of just adding on to what I was saying before. Hundreds who would have been released under previous governors remain incarcerated with little to no chance of ever earning parole. So, on top of that, our budget for corrections has gone up. That means that taxpayers here in this state are going to be part of that, trying to get people to join and be a corrections officer. They're trying to, I guess, up their salary. But the only people that it's impacting really are the people that are incarcerated, obviously, and taxpayers who have to foot the bill for this uptick in the budget, going from $700 million to now almost $800 million in budget for corrections.
Sorry, were you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, my brain's not really here.
No, it's okay.
So there was a story that came out of Connecticut. There was an incarcerated man in the Connecticut prisons who they responded to as suicide. In Connecticut, a man serving only a 5-year sentence for assault died in custody, while another incarcerated person at a different facility in the same state died by suicide just days before. The circumstances around the death are under investigation right now, but it's actually causing the state of Connecticut to kind of take a closer look at mental health issues within the prison system, which is, it's unfortunate that it takes like terrible events like this to make them open their eyes, but I guess if that's what it takes, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to word this right. It's sad to see the prison population ballooning, and also the mental health resources that were once there for them starting to slowly go away. Mm-hmm. And obviously, where we were making progress and doing things right, now it feels like a lot of states are taking that away from people that need it, and it's only going to, and giving them any hope or opportunity or positive programming, all that's starting to slip away slowly. And we see the results. Mm-hmm. The results are on, like, the writing's on the wall. And I hate that it takes someone's death to make people look, Yep. All right, I'm gonna switch it to a little positive here. We got a couple states that are trying to bring about some good changes. One is in Michigan. It says there is the introduction of the Returning Citizens Act, HB 5474, and it says -5477. It was championed by Representative Kimberly Edwards. This important package of bills aims to support individuals released from the MDOC, the Michigan Department of Corrections, by providing them with vital documents essential for a successful reentry. With this legislation, Michigan will be taking a step to ensure that the Returning Citizens Program, also known as RCIP, run by the MDOC, is codified into law. Basically, it's a way for them to get a better future and help them go back into the community without hiccups and problems, and allowing them to have a successful reentry. That was in Michigan. And in Illinois, they're also passing a legislation for prisons to submit annual hospice and data reports. And basically, it's the part of the recently passed Eddie Thomas Act under the state's Unified Code of Corrections, with a new reporting requirement. The new law was named after an incarcerated individual with lung cancer who died alone in an Illinois correctional facility's infirmary without end of care life. This new law will mandate the Illinois Department of Corrections to publish a report on hospice and palliative care services provided across its institutions during prior fiscal years. So we do have some good things coming in some states to help, I guess, with people with end of life care, and then obviously reentry as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. Did you have anything else, Paige?
I don't.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, let's go ahead and dive into our main topic, which is obviously, I kind of polled some of y'all, and I took some parts of y'all's answers that y'all gave me all about true crime. Now, we may all have different opinions on that, but I do want to make sure we look at all sides of true crime, the good, the bad, the ugly, and obviously what, as a prison wife, how true crime impacts us and how we see it, basically also through the eyes of a prison wife, someone that was justice impacted, whether you are with your husband before his incarceration and during, his trial and all of those things, or whether you are MWI or RWI. So I guess the big question here is what happens when you love someone that's incarcerated. And nowadays, I mean, I've said this before, Michael's case was in the late 90s, so he wasn't on TV. Social media didn't exist. With social media now, everything is everywhere. And so I guess it's a little different for me. I'm blessed in the fact that I don't have to deal with that. Paige, I know you Joe's case was kind of as social media began growing, I guess. Would you say?
Yeah, it was still when papers were still used, so it's not really like it was anything big, and both sides didn't really want the news involved, like the victim's side and his family's side. So it's not like anyone was reaching out to, they had Dateline and people reaching out to them to talk to them, and they were like, no.
Okay.
So yeah, but I think one thing that's really important that before we go into the conversation is to say that we're trying to give everyone a POV of our lives and what it really looks like to kind of walk into this true crime, marrying someone incarcerated world, and knowing that we say things sometimes that you might not agree with or that you think is outlandish, but we're not defending the crimes that they did, and we're not shaming the victims by any means. We never would. Our husbands never would. We're just trying to give, like I said, a POV, a centered living experience shot to people of what our lives are.
Yeah. And I will say for true crime from a prison wife's perspective, obviously it can be very complicated. Some prison wives love true crime. Some prison wives don't. I've always said, I used to watch shows like 60 Days In. I used to watch 48 Hours. I used to watch was it Forensic something?
All of them.
Yeah.
I used to watch like you said 60 Days In and stuff. Like all of those. I watched Prison Break like twice and like I was just fascinated by it, but now no. Keep it away from me.
Yeah. Now I can't. I even watched not even true crime, just Orange is the New Black, and I
I
watched
can't yeah.
all
I can't watch that
all
either.
7 seasons, and then eighth season came out, and I was with Michael, and I just couldn't watch it. I tried
Hmm.
to watch it. It was the when they had the
It's
riot, and
just
I
too
just
much. You literally just like
yeah
yeah, because it's like it's just too. There's a certain part where they're in there and we're out here that we're able to like sometimes maybe shut it off, and then seeing it kind of makes it really real. You know.
yeah yeah, and it's like just watching it on TV. It makes me feel like that's what Mike's life is like, and I don't. Even though a lot of the stuff that you see on TV is very dramatized and exaggerated on not exaggerated, but it's it's edited in a way to make it interesting, to make it
Yeah, they
entertaining.
want the lore. They
Um,
want the drama. They want
correct.
the crazy parts that people want to tune in for when they talk about or hear prison.
Yeah, yeah. So of course, every day like that is not what Michael deals with every day back where he is, but I guess just knowing that that could happen, like that kind of ideology,
I think
it makes you kind of
I think it's hard because a lot of the programming at the end of the day, even if it's like shown to kind of act like they respect incarcerated people, a lot of it is just exploiting them and dehumanizing their journeys and struggles. And like, I mean, shit, you guys saw the Alabama Solution literally came out and they gave those men cell phones and that went out and that was nominated for an Oscar. Like,
yeah,
and now those men are apparently in isolation for participating in it. And it's insane. And it's like people think they don't that society doesn't want to hear those comeback stories and the stories about those men, and that literally proves the complete opposite. And if these documentary series and stuff would stop going for like the concept of like the shock factor of stuff, like, because okay, people are always going to like that stuff, but people also really love and follow and stick with an underdog journey, which is why there's now so
yeah,
many people that are concerned about these men that are sitting in solitary.
yes. I agreed. I didn't even know that I figured they would get some like form of retaliation. I just didn't know that it came and it came swift
Yeah,
and
it
hard
just
for them,
it,
and that
it
hurt
just sucks that
for
true crime
them.
true crime can be a great thing, but it's very exploitative and it very much can twist people's the way people view it and the way that they look at anything associated to it,
Hmm.
especially us, for our
Yeah,
situations. Like, we're crazy.
yeah, and obviously it only like if I'm thinking I'm just thinking like if Michael's story was made into a true
Oh
crime
my God.
story,
I want
the
to.
only
That's like my biggest, like anyone touching Joseph's story with a 10-foot pole.
oh yeah
Like I told you, I found on Reddit one time where someone posted about him and said that they it was like asking some true crime thing to like do a story about him. I was like,
yeah yeah
go away.
no. I'm just thinking too. I mean, the point of true crime is to show them as the criminal, is not to show them as the human being. And obviously, the what we see as the human being, because I don't see Michael as a criminal. I see him as a human being, as my husband, as a person, and he's so much more than just the crime. But the only thing that true crime will do in this case for our loved ones is exploit the crime and obviously showcase them as this
They
monster.
take the
Whereas,
Yeah, they
go
take
ahead.
the information that's available to them, which is usually the articles that are written falsely and not even having
Yeah.
facts, and they just maximize the volume on that and spread falsities, and you're just like, what the fuck?
And I don't know, and this is my thing with that. Can I just add just a little sidebar here? Because Mike, when he went up for clemency, excuse me, I couldn't even think of the word. Part of the clemency package is you have to put out the information that it has to go out into the the newspapers and the news. It has to be broadcasted and printed, basically. And half of the articles that were written about him and his case were completely off. And I had to write to some of the articles being like, you're putting out fake news because some of the stuff is not true what you're writing. So I know that prison wives can empathize with that. The headlines that are put out about your loved one, if you have that happen, if you're, obviously with online stuff and news sources being online now, the stuff that they put out is very sensationalized, and often the facts are not all accurate. Like they say that they're facts, but they're really not accurate. It's not accurate information. So of course, when you take that information and you pull from those sources because you think, oh, it's a credible source, it's from a news site, then you start putting out more of a false narrative because you're just perpetuating the cycle of fake information and highly sensationalized information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, Paige, so you said you don't watch true crime anymore.
I don't.
Okay. Can I just say that I usually don't watch true crime. I did, however, I do like documentaries. And I did watch the Wade Wilson documentary.
Did you?
Wait, what?
I said, did you?
Yes. And I learned a lot because I had, Wade Wilson's case is a case that obviously kind of hits all of the parameters because his case was highly publicized. His court case was televised. I mean, it's all over social media. You have people on both sides of the fence, whether they're for him or against him. And it left me feeling a certain type of way as a prison wife, because you have a person who's maybe not sorry, not showing remorse, whether, watching the courtroom list. And listen, I'm not going by articles put out or social media, TikTok stuff, the people that went crazy over him on TikTok. I'm going off of what he's told the detective, like his own words, and watching him in the courtroom, like not firsthand, but obviously as close as I can get to firsthand information. And I'll say it kind of pissed me off as a prison wife, only because my husband is now lumped in with Wade Wilson. Because my husband's on death row, Wade Wilson's on death row. And now people think everybody on death row is someone like Wade Wilson. Does that make sense?
I think that is feigning ignorance on I think people already have their opinions on death row, regardless of if Wade Wilson's there.
No, I agree. But I think it only strengthens those ideologies, like the moniker of death row, because he was, to me, and you don't have to agree with me, to me, he was trying to act a certain way in the courtroom. He was trying to brag about his crimes to the detective. And the way he talks about his crimes and what happened to the two ladies that passed, obviously, or that were murdered, the way he describes it, it's like boastful. Mm-hmm. And I guess as a death row prison wife, I'm like, my husband is nowhere near that. That level, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I just don't think you should group it by sentence, because I feel like that gives everyone else the right to think that they can do that. Because half of their sentences aren't even valid, and they were just given to them because they were either didn't have money or things like that. So it's like, I don't feel like they should be labeled. I feel like if we do that, we're giving society the permission to lump them in a category together, and they're not.
No, they're not. But I guess that was just my initial reaction to watching something like this. because it frustrated me. Because I don't want to lump. I don't, but I'm just sharing, I guess, what my initial thoughts were of this and how it was frustrating because, you know, I don't know how to word it without sounding ugly. But
to say it.
I mean, I can understand why,
You think that him being on death row is valid?
I don't think he would have stopped.
You're allowed.
And the way he was talking.
You're allowed to have those feelings. You know what I mean? There's not. It's very rare that you find people like me that are annoying and are always going to be on the side of I don't think the government ever has the right to kill anyone. I don't think ever.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's exceptions. I think that they don't have that right. But there are sick people like Wade Wilson that are going to make people teeter and be like, hell yeah, no, kill him. Because
listen, I do not want him to be executed by any means. I don't want anyone to be executed. And I worry for him because he is in Florida and we know right now
he probably will
Florida's-
be executed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't like the idea of it. I don't agree with it, but if there was I just said if there was an argument for it, that would be the only argument that I could maybe go, well, I don't agree with it, but I mean, I can hear it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want it to sound weird because obviously my husband's has the same sentence as him.
I think it's important you say how you feel though, because I think we know from reading comments and stuff when we voice our opinions on here. I think my opinion, I'm in the minority and I know that. When people hear me say that, they think I'm kind of insane and crazy and they'll have to throw scenarios at me. You know what I mean? But but it's important that you voice your opinion like that because there are prison wives and people who are going to feel like that and they don't. We're all allowed that.
Oh, there are prison wives that are, there are prison wives that are for the death penalty. I've had many conversations. And there's a lot. There's a lot out there that are very much for it. I guess I believe truly with all my heart that my husband, yes, he deserves to be in prison. Yes, he did something atrocious and horrible, but he is nowhere near. His crime is nowhere to me. Is not being, he never wanted anything bad to happen. He never wanted anything that happened to happen in his case. And I feel like, whereas Wade Wilson's, he was glorifying his crimes, making him like the second Charles Manson, trying to get women to follow him and, all this stuff. And it just,
he's the typical prison pretty boy. Was pretty boy, maybe not anymore.
Yeah.
The cliche that everyone thinks is all men in prison.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. And so I get what you're saying about lumping everybody because that's what the public does. They lump everybody together and I don't want to do that, but I guess that was just my initial reaction. And so after that, I was like, I don't want to watch anything like this anymore. And I followed up because my coworkers are all into true crime. And they wanted me to watch the docuseries about the woman who drowned all of her 5 kids.
Hell no. You couldn't pay me to watch something like that.
I watched it, and then when it got to the part where because she was up for the death penalty in Texas, where they gave her the death penalty at first, and then they went back and she was ruled insane.
I don't even know about that case, and that's something I could never.
Well, it was tied in with the cult and all kind of crazy stuff. It was crazy.
Always,
yeah. And the thing is with her, she could sign herself out. She's done enough time in the mental institution that she can sign herself out and walk away a free woman. And she still to this day refuses.
Wow.
To do it. But I guess when it got to the court case part, of that documentary, I had to stop watching, unfortunately. It was just too hard. I've sat on a jury and it was surreal. And now that I know that my husband went through something similar and may have, he may have future court dates. I don't know. For him to have to go through that again, I just can't watch it if I have to live it at some point, if that makes sense.
Yep. Totally.
Yeah. It's almost like, and I can't even imagine the people that were there that went through the court cases. I mean, it's almost like if you're, MBI and you were there, or your loved one, went to go get resentenced, or, had a mistrial or something, and you went back, even after meeting them while they were incarcerated, I think it's almost like a re-traumatization if you watch true crime and watch the court proceedings happen and see how things are swayed. And obviously, I feel like a lot of times, the prosecution always has the upper hand, and so it could be almost like a re-traumatization for people watching, these true crime cases, and having to live that in the moment too, So, I guess I always want to just make sure that I did ask, our wallers, I guess, if you want to, on TikTok, not TikTok, on Instagram, what their thoughts were. And I wanted to share some of the thoughts, about, what they said about true crimes. One person said that, Addie said that I'm selective. Some true crime is informative, but a lot turns real people's drama into entertainment, which we kind of already talked about. Someone else said it makes them scared. They don't like the feeling that they get when they watch true crimes. Someone also said somehow it's also a violation of our privacy as prison wives. And I didn't think about that. Like, it kind of is like they're diving into your loved one's life, into their crime, maybe even the background.
I'm thinking about
too.
even the people where people will FOIA people's like letters and calls and like things that have nothing to do with the crime, and the crime has already happened, and they're just nosy and they post them online. And it's like things like that where it's like, okay, like at what point, like, what are you doing this for anymore? This episode of Love Within Walls is sponsored by BetterHelp.
If you're listening to this podcast, chances are you know how heavy life can feel sometimes.
Loving someone who's incarcerated comes with stress, loneliness, anxiety, and emotions that aren't always fun to talk about, especially when it feels like no one else truly understands what you're going through.
That's why we're really grateful to be partnering with BetterHelp. BetterHelp is online therapy that makes professional support more accessible, affordable, and flexible.
No matter where you are or what your schedule looks like. With BetterHelp, you can connect with a licensed therapist from the comfort of your own home through phone, video, or messaging.
You don't have to sit in a waiting room, and you don't have to explain yourself to 10 people just to get help. Therapy isn't about being broken.
It's about having a safe place to process everything that you're carrying. The grief, the guilt, the anger, the hope, all of it.
If you've been thinking about therapy but haven't known where to start, this could be your sign. Love Within Walls listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/prisonwife.
Our link is https://betterhelp.com/prisonwife. That's betterhelp.com/prisonwife. You deserve support too. Because at the same time, like, okay, just for sake of example, Wade Wilson, since we were talking about him earlier, there were so many calls of his that were leaked and put online, and it was cut off obviously pretty quickly. But in the beginning, like, do you think, just look at it like this, like, I understand it was like a entertainment factor for a lot of people, but like we said earlier, how is that not re-victimizing the kids of the women that are on TikTok and are still alive and have to deal with this? Like, do you think it's cool for them when they have to like see or hear call, like, you know what I mean? You're putting it back in their face when they might be trying to escape it, you know? Like things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Like I can't even imagine, you know, especially from the victims standpoint, the families of the victims. I
Yeah.
mean, having to watch this, you know, this internet like fan club of people, you know, posting this obsession with Wade Wilson and like almost romanticizing him and having to bring back all the crime and the trauma and him gloating about what he did and having to hear that over and over again. I can't even imagine, you know? Also, someone else said that they did not like them. They said that they were very bad because they spread the idea that once a criminal, forever a criminal, which is very true. It's almost like, you know, it just brings up, like we said, it just brings up those negative moments of your loved one's past. And that's the only thing your loved one's going to be known
It's
for.
like,
They're never going to be
think
known.
of someone
Go ahead.
making like a production movie of your worst moment ever, and then it's just there forever. Like, you know what I mean? And like that's how
Yeah.
people are always gonna like look at you because that's what it is.
And no matter how much positive programming your loved one may do,
It doesn't matter because
you
this
know,
documentary's out there, and that's how people will always.
that's it. That's how they're going to know him or, you know, or her, you know. So it only, I hate, and this is the part that makes me not like true crime because, you know, like you and I work so hard to show these loved ones as individuals, as people, as human beings, as people that can change, that can be rehabilitated, that can have a moment of redemption. And the true crime shows only show the opposite of that. And it shows, you know, the monster, not the human, in those moments. And so yeah, I totally agree with that statement that it only shows the parts that are not the good parts, you know. One prison wife did say that she likes them if they are done well and show empathy. It depends on the topic and the info presented. Have you seen? I mean, I really haven't seen any true crime that was empathetic, really.
No.
Like truly empathetic.
Not really. I feel like they're all, at least the stuff that I see is usually like shock factor. I mean, unless we're talking about like literally, I wouldn't even call the Alabama solution true crime because it's like, but I mean,
No, it's showing the realities of what's happening in prison, obviously. So, so I like that idea. I like that statement, but I don't ever feel like a true crime episode is empathetic really to the person. You know, they may be empathetic to the victim, and of course they should be. But I don't see where, you know, they talk about any traumas that maybe the person suffered prior to the crime. They don't talk about that. They just focus in on,
yeah, it's never what
you
led
know,
what
made-
led to the crime.
Yeah, all the factors. Another prison wife said she loves them, and when I can't sleep, she puts on a crime doc or podcast, and she'll go to sleep listening to it. So, hey, I mean, listen, I'm not knocking. You know, if it works for you, great. But obviously, and another prison wife told me that she loves them. So, I guess some people are able to establish a boundary and take whatever's happening with their loved one and their loved one's crime out of it.
Yeah.
I unfortunately cannot do that. And
Good for
to me,
them.
Paige, it sounds like, yeah. So a few other ones. One other person says, I can't do snapped or locked up anymore. Too real. She still likes a good documentary though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's how I feel. I feel like I do love a documentary, but some parts of it can get pretty intense for me. And I have to say, I can't do this anymore. So I think with that, to kind of wrap this up, if true crime is your jam, great. I think However, you do need to know what you're watching. You're watching a story that's built for entertainment factors and shock factors. Whereas, a responsible presentation of the events looks at all of the pieces. I feel like true crime really only focuses on the crime itself, and the gory details that go with that. So, as long as you understand as a prison wife watching this, it's important to protect your mental health. If you enjoy it, obviously do you. I'm happy for you. But just know that these documentaries do shape public opinion about all incarcerated people, unfortunately. And if it's too hard for you to watch, I recommend you don't. I learned that the hard way. Unfortunately, I tried. I knew I couldn't, and I went and tried to watch something, and I got utterly irritated, and I got I had to stop at some points. So I think at the end of the day, for prison wives, just know that, when the public is watching this, they're not watching it with the same lens as you are, if that makes sense. They're watching it with the lens of, oh yeah, this is why people should stay in cages, kind of like I did at first. I'll be honest. I mean, I thought, wow, okay. When I was frustrated about the Wade Wilson documentary, it does lean you towards that way. So, watch at your own, I just say watch at your own discretion. And always, 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 if it's something that you can't watch, protect your peace, protect your mental health, establish the boundary of, I can't do this, and you move on. Sometimes I don't even watch TV anymore because some of the stuff on there is too triggering for me. So, Paige, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I would echo what you said, just having your own boundaries and knowing what you can and can't handle, and not trying to watch because you're curious or anything. Just honor yourself.
Yeah. And I would say, because we love someone incarcerated, in a world that is, true crime obsessed, just know that you deserve space and you have a voice, and whether you're for it or against it, whatever that is, if you feel like you need to talk to someone, obviously we're here. You can share your thoughts with us, and let us know what you think about true crime and how it has impacted you, being maybe before incarceration or after incarceration, how the two kind of go together. And I guess my closing thought, true crime can be entertainment to some, but for others, it's real life for us, so our lives are obviously built around, we have to deal with the constant prejudice and judgments about our loved ones' crime. And these shows, unfortunately, only help perpetuate those judgments, if that makes sense. So, all right. I enjoyed that lovely little conversation. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to go ahead. I think we're getting a little phone call, Paige. It's about that time. I missed our man. It's time for him to call.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Florida Fred,
an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution.
All right, guys, that means it's Florida Fred calling. It's time for your questions and comments. Paige, did you want to kick the first question off for us, please?
Yeah, the first question is from Miss Addie. She said, what is something that they, our hubbies, take very seriously that cracks you up?
Pickleball, cleaning,
yeah.
Recently, because of the Winter Olympics, curling.
Yeah.
I was joking about curling. I was like, yeah, the curling matches with the U.S. and some other country were hella intense. And Mike's like, don't joke about curling. Like, I take that serious. Like he was like, I take that serious. That's a good sport. I like curling. So yeah, that would be Mike's. What about Joe's?
Probably, like you said, cleaning, or maybe something like he plays soccer and basketball sometimes when they go out, and like he'll like volunteer to be on teams, and they'll like do championships and stuff, and he'll like come back and like tell me about it, and I'll just be like, I thought there was a championship like last week, or like there's always championships is what it is. So
Yeah. All right. So the next question I have is from Christina. What do you think it will take for leaders to wake up to pass second chances for loved ones?
do you want me to be honest?
Yes,
No-
please. Always.
Nothing, because we literally just found out that all of the people in power literally molest children and eat them. So that's it.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's written down somewhere.
I don't want to
The
be a
people
negative.
that
Like, I
are
know we're supposed to be positive girlies on this, but I'm sorry. I have to be real and honor all of my feelings too. I am in a very
No.
negative headspace with everything going on in our world, and unfortunately, I don't think that I think getting any kind of positive prison or reform right now is going to be very hard.
Yeah, I agree. The people that hold the seats of power right now are very much against criminal justice reform. I mean, you have some few. You have Joshy Poo. You have a few people. Newsom, may try to do things, but I also feel like some of them also, it's not big on their agenda. Like the ones that maybe are, it's not their big agenda moments. And I feel like right now, especially, we have this political climate where it's hella tumultuous and nobody wants to do anything too radical. I mean, you have people that want to do a lot of radical things on one side, and you have people that want to do a lot of radical things on the other side. But right now, I feel like everybody's trying to, if they're trying to fight criminal justice, they're doing it very carefully, or just it's on the back burner, TBH. That's my thoughts. I think second chances are a big thing. I love seeing when stars go to the White House and try to, talk to the people, the leaders, and talk to them about why second chances matter. I think there needs to be more of a push on that, but I feel like it's also not a pressing issue. Therefore, a lot of people, there's bigger issues that we have to deal with as a country before we can look at that, I guess. That's how I see it. I mean, that might be negative too, but I feel it's very realist, if that makes sense. All right. Your next one, Paige?
Did your men have other pen pals before you wrote to them? He sure did not. He sure did not.
Mike sure did. Mike sure as hell
I told
did.
Joseph he's like, wow. He's like, really? I'm like, yes. I don't know why that would bother me. I'm a Cancer. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Let me be your first. Like I don't know, Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to be. I know it doesn't mean anything. Like, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't. It really doesn't. But something about me wanted that. But he never wrote to anyone. I was very quick with it, with his ad.
Yeah. So how can I ask, how long did he have his ad up before you wrote to him?
Well, it was during COVID, so I did that website, like, did weekly new ads. So I would just go on it and just look at it. I never wrote to anyone ever, just because I like to open it and read it and like read what they have. And there was something about Joe, like I said before, where I was like, I have, like, looking at him, I'm like, I've known him. Like I couldn't ignore it, and I was like, I know that he literally didn't have he didn't have a tablet. I had to handwrite him a letter. It wasn't anything easy, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna do it.
Well, Mike unfortunately had lots of pen pals, and he was very hot and heavy with a few. He obviously had his pen pal before, his relationship before me was obviously started off as pen pals. freaking skank. Anyway, I'm gonna say it like that. Anyway, but my intrusive thoughts are winning right now. But he also had a lot of pen pals that were all around the world. So he had friendly pen pals, and he had sexual pen pals, and he had obviously relationships from pen pals. So Mike's a Mr. International. I mean, a man of all trades when it comes to pen pals. I will say he had quite a few, but he's been there for almost 3 decades, so that makes sense. But I think recently, like now, he's just like, I don't have time for it. Like I have you, and you're a lot. So hey, like, you know, he dedicates a lot of his time to me and our marriage and our relationship. So yeah. But I mean, I don't like. I will say this: Mike found a letter from his ex, and he started reading it, and I initially was like, immediately no, stop reading it. I had to stop him because I couldn't listen to her talk to him like cutesy wootsy, and yeah. So, all right, I have a question also from Addie. She said, what's something about him, your loved ones, that you hope never changes?
Just the part of him that, you know, made me fall in love with him. I tell him that all the time when I talk about Counselor Joe, because I love Counselor Joe, but I tell him all the time, I'm like, but I didn't marry Counselor Joe. I married Joe. And so just like his genuine, like, you know, his empathy and like the way that he cares and shows up for me, that just always that probably.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mike's heart and his kindness, not even towards me, but towards others, people that, you know, one day he may be aggravated with, but he still, you know, helps them out if they don't have any food or he sees them struggling. He stops and does whatever he can to help them. You know, he even helped a guard who passed out on the tier, him and a couple other guys. You know, just you don't have to be kind, but he just naturally is. And I love that about him. And that's one of the most endearing qualities that I find in him. And I'm also going to kind of go with what you said about like Counselor Joe. Mike is extremely positive, and I'm blessed and happy that he is, because
they need to be,
you know, they have to be to survive in there, obviously. But sometimes, you know, when he goes, well, you know, it could be worse. I'm like, oh my God, here comes positive Pete walking in the door.
When Counselor Joe, he'll like ask me, like I'll tell him I'm going through something, and he'll ask me a question that's like, blah, 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 like phrasing a question about why could it be blah, blah. I'm like, who's talking to me? Like, fuck off. Like I didn't know I logged into BetterHelp. Love you, BetterHelp.
Yeah.
I'll stick with y'all for my therapy. Yeah. Okay, not love you, Counselor Joe, but no.
But I will say it pisses me off sometimes, because I'm like, I'm such in a negative headspace, or I'm frustrated about something, and I don't want to hear Pollyanna bullshit. Yep. You know what I mean? But I do appreciate that about him, because he does make me look at things differently and in a more through a more positive lens, even if I grit my teeth while he's saying it, you know, and he's talking to me. I love that he hopes. I love that he dreams. I love that he is kind and has a positive outlook on everything. I think it just shows you what kind of person, because listen, if I was in prison, I would have every reason to be negative and be miserable. Yep. And a lot of people do. And obviously we see that some of those people don't survive incarceration because of that, unfortunately. So I don't want that to change. As much as it aggravates me and pisses me off sometimes, I do love that about him. So I hope that never changes. I will say that we did get a wonderful compliment that I wanted to share with everybody. This is from a friend of mine who I've known for about 10 years at this point. She's in the criminal justice world, and she's in our group, and she obviously is a fan of the pod. And she says, I would just like to compliment you both on not just your podcast, but also the group. And she's referring to Love Within Walls. What you are doing is amazing. The virtual events, going live, and the in-person meetups are what makes a support group thrive. I wanted to share that on the pod because I want people to know that we're out here trying to make this world, whether this journey that can be so tough and so negative, be supportive and loving and nurturing. Whether it's the podcast or the support group. And I wanted to let people know that there's a resource out there if they need it, and we're here for them. And so there's lots of resources out there. And, you know, I'm grateful for Paige for bringing this group up, because this group inspired the podcast. And the things that we're doing in the group now was brought up through Paige's ideas. And, you know, she's just a genius, and she knows how to love, support, and nurture. I mean, and I'm here, and I'm always rolling with it, and I'm here to help and do all the things. I've been doing it for a long time, but I'm very grateful for this compliment, because it just means the world to me that we're doing something right. You know, we are doing what we wanted to do, which was help people and bring about change and change people's perspectives and support the ones that need it, you know?
My gosh, between you and the compliment, I'll cry. My emotions aren't good. We're not good.
Well, I feel like, you know, we all need to hear. I feel like we always focus on negative, and sometimes it's good to focus on positive, because it makes you feel whole. It makes you feel a little better, you know? So get your flowers, girl. Well, that's all I had, Paige. Did you have anything else? All right. Well, guys, we wanted to thank you for being here with us, and join us on Love Within Walls, our Facebook group, if you need extra support. And we'll hopefully be back next week, and we'll have tales of our Valentine's days, and we can kind of share. And Mardi Gras is coming up. I can share a little bit about that. And we hope you guys have a beautiful Valentine's Day with your loved one. And if you have any thoughts or comments about the true crime stuff, being a prison wife, please drop it below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, no opinion is a bad opinion. I think it's just everybody has different lens, and we see the world differently. And I think it's great. So, you know, no matter where you go with the true crime stuff, but drop your thoughts.
Thanks for listening, friends.
All right. We love you.
I love you.
Besitos. We love our wallers. We'll see y'all next week, guys. Bye, guys.
This is for the prison wife. Still don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break, love don't fold. I hold strong, I don't go. I don't wait, I don't beg. I hold it down and lift my head. They don't see the late nights, letters on the table, fighting through the system, just trying to stay stable. They don't see the count days, they don't feel the time crawl. They just see the sentence, but they don't see the love at all. Yeah, I made the vow and I stand 10 toes. Still got my life, still got my goals. I hold it down cause I choose to stay. This love got walls, but it don't got shade. Don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break, love don't fold. I hold strong, I don't go. I don't wait, I don't beg. I hold it down and lift my head. I'm a prison wife, but I'm still my own. Made my own moves, still stand on my throne. They think I'm just sitting here wasting my days. Nah, baby, I've been building while he counting the days. I ride for my love, I ride for my king, but I ain't no fool, I handle my biz. I ain't weak, I ain't lost, I ain't throwing my worth. I hold it down cause I know what it's worth. Through the letters, through the calls, through the I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break, love don't fall.